What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the brand new Bose QC45 active noise canceling headphones, and we're going to compare them to the QC35s as well as the Bose 700s. I'm sure there's quite a few people that have the 35s or the 700s, and you want to know what the differences are or if you should switch. I'm going to help you answer that question here today. So let's not waste any time and jump right into this. So let's start off with the price. So at the time of making this video, you can get the Bose QC35s for $300, the Bose QC45s for $330, and the Bose 700s for $380. So between the QC35s and the QC45s, you only have a $30 price difference. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the physical differences, starting off with the QC45 versus the QC35. So for the most part, you're getting the exact same design and build, which is honestly a good thing because the QC35s were very popular due to their lightweight design. So the 45 is coming in at 8.5 ounces compared to the 8.3 ounces of the QC35. So just a slight difference in weight, but once you put them on your head, you're not really going to notice the difference. There are a few things that they changed on the QC45, including the ear cups. They kind of smoothed them out a little bit. So if we take a look at the 35s, you can see they have a few more sharp edges compared to the more smooth and rounded edges of the 45. Another small difference is the branding featured on the side of the ear cups. On the 35s, you have that raised Bose branding, which gives them a really premium look. It has that nice shiny reflective finish. But on the 45s, they took that away and replaced it with just a flat printed image. You'll also notice that the finish on the top of the headband is different. So on the 45, they just have the synthetic leather, whereas on the 35, you had that kind of nubuck texture. So for those of you that are bald, this may be a noticeable change. With the ear cushions, you can see they did away with the pleated design. So on the 45, you can see the ear cushions are just smooth all the way around. Now to me, this doesn't really make much of a difference since the pleated part on the QC35 doesn't really come in contact with your ears, but it is just another small difference that you'll notice. Now switching gears and moving over to the Bose 700, the main thing here is just the overall design. These are completely different and you're just getting a more sophisticated and more modern look, which makes sense, you know, with the higher price tag. These are considered to be the more flagship headphone from Bose. To adjust the size of the Bose 700, the actual ear cups slide up and down the headband itself, which is different from the QC series and pretty much all other headphones out there. Another key difference that you'll notice is with the ear cushions, you are getting a little bit thicker and cushier padding. And then as far as the weight on these, they're about 8.9 ounces, so not that far off from the Bose QC headphones. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the specs. So the QC45 are running Bluetooth 5.1 compared to the very outdated Bluetooth 4.1 of the QC35. Although the QC35 are still compatible with Bluetooth 5.0 products. And then the Bose 700 are running Bluetooth 5.0. It's also worth mentioning that the Bose QC35 are the only headphones out of the group that support NFC connection, which if you've never used that, it's a technology that allows them to pair up with your device by simply placing them near each other. All three of the headphones support multi-point connection, which means you can connect them with two devices at the same time. As far as audio codecs, they're all using SBC as well as AAC, so unfortunately no aptX with either of these. Now when it comes to battery life, the QC45 are leading the pack with an advertised battery life of 24 hours compared to the 20 of the QC35 and Bose 700. Now when it comes to the fit, honestly, I can't really tell a difference between the QC45 and the QC35. Like I said, the small weight difference doesn't really translate into anything. With the Bose 700, I do feel like they have slightly stronger clamp force, which depending on the size of your head could be a good or a bad thing. But in all honesty, you really can't go wrong with either of these three. You're going to get a comfortable fit regardless. Where you are going to notice a difference is with the controls. So with the QC45 and the QC35, you're getting pretty much the same physical button setup. So on the right ear cup is where you have your playback controls as well as your multi-function button. And then on the left ear cup is where you have your ambient control button. With the Bose 700, You do have some buttons. On the left side, you have your ambient control button. On the right side, you have your voice assistant button. And then you also have a power or your Bluetooth button. But as far as your playback controls, these are using touch sensitive controls. So you're actually using the surface of the right ear cup to control your music. Now let's go ahead and dive into the sound quality. So this is what I was anxious to test out on the QC45 so that I could compare it to the QC35, because honestly, the sound on the QC35 has been a deal breaker for me. And it's not because they sound bad, they actually sound great. It has a very open and spacious type of sound. You're getting plenty of detail and clarity. They're pretty reserved in terms of bass, which is okay because you're not buying Bose headphones to get beat over the head with bass. Where I have a problem is with the max volume. So the sound quality sounds the best with active noise cancellation turned on, but if you have ANC turned on and you turn the volume up to 100%, in my experience, you are going to get some distortion. And I've tested this out on multiple pairs of the QC35 just to make sure it wasn't a fluke, and I pretty much got the same results every time. And for me, if I'm going to pay $300 for a pair of headphones, I don't want any distortion no matter the volume level. Now, if you turn the volume down just one notch to around 90%, it does fix the problem. But again, at this price point, I don't feel like you should have to do that. So I was very anxious to see if they corrected this with the QC45. And I'm happy to say that they did. So when I tested these out with the active noise cancellation turned on and the volume at 100%, I didn't get any distortion, which was a very pleasant surprise. Something else that I noticed is that you get a lot less EQ shift with active noise cancellation turned on versus off, whereas with the QC35, the sound changes by quite a bit with ANC turned on versus off. With the Bose 700 earbuds, you're getting pretty much that same sound signature, very open, very spacious, but I do notice a little bit more bass, but still maintaining that clarity and detail. But what these really have going for them is that you have EQ control within the Bose Music app. So you can adjust the bass, the mids, and the highs, and you also have a couple presets to play around with. And no matter what, no matter if ANC is on or off, no matter the EQ presets, you're not going to get any distortion on these. Now let's go ahead and talk about the active noise cancellation, starting off with the QC45 versus the QC35. So supposedly the 45 is supposed to have more effective ANC compared to the 35. I believe they added an additional microphone, but in my testing, the difference is very slight, if any. And you no longer have a high and low setting like you do on the 35. Your only options are ANC on or aware mode, which is basically ANC off so that you can be aware of your surroundings. Which brings me to my next point. The aware mode on the QC45 is not really much better than the ANC off mode on the QC35. So in terms of the ANC and just ambient sound, you're still getting top level Bose ANC performance, but in terms of difference between the two, there's not really much there. With the Bose 700, you are getting better ANC performance than both the Bose QC headphones, but not only that, you get more control over it. So within the Bose Music app, you have a total of 11 different levels of ANC, so you can really tailor it to your specific needs. Now, the last thing I want to cover is the microphone and call quality. So in a quiet room or quiet environment, any of these three is going to be perfectly fine. You're not going to have any issues in that type of scenario, but I didn't want to test that. I wanted to kind of push the envelope and find a noisy area to see if there's any difference with how they filter out background noise. And what I found is that the QC45 as well as the Bose 700 filter out background noise extremely well, but they kind of changed the natural sound of my voice in the process. Surprisingly, the QC35 made my voice sound the most natural. It didn't filter out the background noise quite as well as the other two, but overall, I prefer how it made my voice sound. But I'll let you guys be the judge.
All right, we have the QC35. So this is a mic test. We're going to see how well these are able to kind of block out the road noise behind me. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is a microphone test of the QC45. As you guys can see, there's literally a highway right behind me. So this should be a pretty good area to test out the microphones, see how well they filter out the background noise. All right, so now we have the Bose 700 noise canceling headphones. Just trying to see how well they filter out this road noise behind me. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
So overall, if you have the Bose QC35 already and you're happy with them, I don't think it's worth switching over to the QC45. But if you have neither, I would say go ahead and spend the extra 30 bucks and go ahead and get the QC45. If you have a little extra money to spare, then I would say go ahead and get the Bose 700. So that's going to be it for this video. Do me a favor, if you found the video to be helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on social media to stay up to date on all the reviews that I'll have coming up. And also, if you're interested in any of these headphones, be sure to check out the links down in the description for the most up-to-date price. And aside from that, as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.